tested coffee at different temperature. I was attending this Harvard course about food. The different temperature when the food cools down to or heat up to give it's a different flavor. And so with that, I've been testing a few type of food at different room temperature, heating temperature, and coffee is one of them that tastes, I would say, when it first comes out piping hot, it's not the best time to drink the coffee. Wait about 3 minutes or so, comes down to a little bit of not hot, not warm, it's home, whatever you call it, and that's actually quite nice. And as it cools down to maybe more room temperature, like even down to like cold, it still tastes different. Some people don't like cold coffee, some people don't like warm coffee, but I think you should taste it as it is and appreciate the difference in the flavor and the texture. Acidity all comes out differently, and you may prefer one or another, but don't write it off and say, oh, cold coffee is terrible. Cold coffee has some parts of the flavor that you don't get when it's hot, and vice versa. So it makes me enjoy the coffee all through because I'm mindful, stay in the present, and enjoy the moment.
What do you think? The coffee and Yong Tau Fu, do they match?
I would say the coffee is good by itself, the Yong Tau Fu is great by itself. The pairing is alright. I have coffee and food paired perfectly. It's like almost like smooth and uninterrupted. This particular combo is not opposite, but it's not perfect pairing. That's my view.
Yeah.
For example, if you eat
It's complementary, but didn't make the coffee shine.
it takes a poet to describe things in such flowy, flowery, amazing expression of useless English. But no, skip the last part. But just say it's good is no good. But why you have to say such flowy?
You're in trouble with a lot of what do you call that?
Literary artists.
Literary experts.
I know. I think language is created as a form of communication, and when it finishes communication function, people start using language as a form of expression of feelings, art, and different ways of speaking. I appreciate that, and I admire people who could do that. I'm just saying that's one way of doing it. Functionally, it's less effective if you use flowery, bombastic, big words. But people get used to one side and not be able to use it in a functional way, or those who use it purely functionally do not appreciate the enjoyment of nice language, prose, literally art. So I'm just being critical on both sides. I'm not against it. For example, if there's a fire and I need an extinguisher quick, or I need some water, I could say, pass me the extinguisher right now. Turn on the tap. Quick, right? Do you mind passing me that fire extinguisher from the cabinet behind my drawer in the engine room? The fire has already burnt me. So sometimes, I mean, this is an extreme example, but sometimes you use words too much. And I read a lot of books, and some of the books are pretty descriptive. Some are overly descriptive to the level whereby we're dealing with words and the meaning and analyzing everything deeply rather than get on with the story. So that's me. I want to check in with you. I noticed that the Singapore government is about to release the COVID circuit breaker to phase 2, which means that by default, more businesses or most businesses can reopen, and most normal activity, not all, could go back to less restrictive with some restrictions still. Are you excited with that announcement?
Very excited. And I can see the effects of it today at the hawker center that I went to buy the food from. The storeholders are more happy. They're not complaining anymore. Like previously, they will be like really sad that their business is really down. Very little people around. And this morning when I went, the lady knows me, even though I had a mask on. She's like, "Hey, good morning," and she was very chirpy, which I'm very happy for her. There are more customers. There's actually a line. I'm the first in line. That's important. In a sense that I'm not at the whim and fancy of the person in front of me if they choose to take their own sweet time. So I'm very happy for them, and I'm thinking, what's the first thing I want to do? And the government said that 5 people can congregate in the house for visits, and the first thing I want to do is, just have a meal with my father-in-law. He's a very sociable guy, and the past 2 months, he's with my brother-in-law's family. At the same time, he didn't really hang out with us, so I think he'll be very happy. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I'm not as excited as you are. This morning driving here itself is a testament of some of the things that going back to normal will get people to be in a rush, fighting, jostling for position, and I think a lot of people are just waiting to get back to normal and do their own things. COVID forced people to stay at home and think about things to fill the time they are given, but they had not had those time when they were busy. And I think the forcing function help people to do things that are important to their lives, to the family, to themselves, like exercising, thinking, writing, reflecting, having conversation, eating better food, being more conscious of neighbors and others, and infecting others if you're sick. So you got to think about others. So all those good stuff that comes along, half of it will go away. People will just get pulled back into that cycle. I don't look forward to that. On the other hand, it's important to have the economy back. It's important to keep people working as well, because the people need some money to have some kind of survival. So a part of me say, good, we are getting things back. And the other part of me is hoping that if people could retain 50% of what they learned and realized, and that's what I wish for. The sad part is, in my guesstimate, within a year, life will go back to the normal, fast-paced, impatient society, materialistic drive for better and more. As for myself, I'm hoping to reinvent the way I do my things, spend my time at home. I'm actually enjoying this rhythm that I have. I'm very sure that I will get caught up in a little bit of work and money making and socializing. I will try to remind myself, maybe with videos like this, statements that I just made out there, I want to be able to spend once a week reflecting on things, just like now, and remind myself what it used to be during the COVID, and what it should be retained, and what it should be discarded as a way of life. So I wish some of you out there who was watching this, spend some time noting down the things that you would want to keep doing, and those things that you realize is useless. Like someone I knew told me that mindless socializing is something that she would like to stop. And that would be a good thing to write down, and when you read back and realize that, oh, I said I did not want to do that, but why am I still mindlessly socializing with people I don't enjoy? And so hopefully your notes will remind you of what you said. during the COVID and forgot after the COVID. So that's me. Not super excited overall, but kind of half wanting it to come back for the good of maintaining the way the society is, modern, clean air, good roads. I'm not willing to go back to real, rural, backdated, taking water from the well, no electricity. I'm not that kind of unplugged person. I like to be plugged in. Technology, internet. But with that, we need money, we need cost, we need government. So I like to have a bit of both. After a good meal, it's always good to clear your palate with something sweet. So I brought along 2 scones that I made yesterday from sourdough. And these are scones made with sourdough, and we had so much chocolate given to us over the years, and we don't really eat chocolate the way some people do. And there are boxes and boxes of them. We have See's candies, we have Lin's, we have all those stuff. And so I decided I'm going to use those things. So I cut up all those candies and chocolate and whatever is inside, nuts and caramel. It all went into the scone. And so every bite of scone will have, can you take one? Flavor that comes with the chocolate chip.
Okay, here goes. Do you put cinnamon powder?
This and this is what I call a pairing. Sweet with a bit of a bitterness from the coffee. That's a great idea about cinnamon. I did not, but I'm going to do that the next round. Cinnamon will make this a cinnamon bun. I noticed that you have been maintaining
dirty
good
my t-shirt.
posture.
Yes.
Has it been because you've been doing yoga every day? What makes you do yoga every day?
I always like to exercise. I'll go to the gym. I'll work out with our trainer Sean once a week, or I go for my brisk walking.
I never get a short answer, so keep
Yes,
going.
that's
Same for me.
me.
Same for me.
Yes.
It's hard to get a short. So we're gonna edit out some of this long.
And I'm not gonna say cut the long story short, but this is the whole story.
Yeah, let's cut the long story short.
I believe exercising is good for us. So because of the COVID, we can't go to the studio to do yoga twice a week. And so by accident, he found this yoga app.
Here. Oh, he, I see. Why don't you say you? Why is that he?
Oh, yeah,
It's like third
you.
person. Like
I was
there's
talking to
so
the
many
camera.
people around here,
I was
right?
talking to the camera.
He, wow.
Wow, there's so many audience. Oh, hold your applause, hold your applause.
Yeah.
Okay. So instead of, twice a week, I don't know. I don't know the sequence of it, but somehow we ended up, let's do it every day for just half an hour. We started that way. And before I know it, we just need to have that yoga session a day. We have progressed to 50 minutes, right? I think the longest.
Once.
Yeah, once.
Because she complained all the time. Why did you do it? Why is it so long? Did you forget to turn it off and all that stuff? So,
And because there's many combinations, beginners, advanced, gentle, and all kinds of things, I just let him have a play at, okay, what's the adventure for today, What are we focusing on? Core or glutes or neck or back, lower back, whatever.
the wind is coming.
Oh yes, this is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to cut the long story short. Okay, then keep going. So
Yeah,
what
that's
makes
all
you?
about yoga.
So what? But you didn't answer the question. You answered the question on what makes you do it. I said what makes you do it every day. Why do you?
I
wake
say
up
it's
doing
accidental.
It's accidental. You got started. It's not accidental. You did it every day. You didn't wake up and accidentally do it every day. You accidentally started. But listen to the question. What got you to do it and wake up doing it and look forward to doing it. That's why you're doing it. Or you don't look forward to do it, you're forced to do it. Whatever the reason, what makes you do it at 6 o'clock every day? That's the real question. You see, a lot of people who answer a question go into the whole background of the main question is they forgot what the question was. And that, in my experience, asking people questions is the same way, me including. We're filled up by telling the background of everything, but we don't actually get to the point. So back to the point.
What makes me do it every day? Because I like it. I like.
Straightforward, simple answer, right?
Oh my gosh! I spent 10 minutes explaining the backstory of I like it. 3 words.
It is the case. I mean, it's not a critic of you, it's a critic of everybody. And someone actually told me that we spend time explaining the background of everything, whereas you could just say it in a very quick way. It happens to many people.
Then again, it depends on how much I want people to know me. If I don't want people to know me that much, I'll just say I like it. In this sense, I actually give you more background information that leads to I like it.
That's not true. Because you want to say it, not because you want to give me background information. Let me tell you the truth. A lot of people say things because they want to say it. They feel that they need to say it, not because they're feeding you because they know you need it. No. Let's be honest. A lot of people tend to unknowingly have an ego of wanting to tell things because they need to let it out. Very few knowingly do it for the other party. Very few. I'm not saying nobody. Rare. And to be able to read both situation of my need and your need is really the art of us having to have a good way to answer a question. That's my experience with my dealing with people, including myself. I'm trying to be self-aware of that. But if someone tells you, I'm saying all this story is for your own good, true or false? Mostly false. It's for their own good. See, I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting
for a question. Tell me what you're gonna work on the boat today. Just give us a background, or not background, an overview. Straight to the point, man. Straight to the point.
So I'm planning to do a few things. Number one is I'm planning to put the foam sticker, which has the shape of brick, but these are not real brick. It's just a shape of brick made from artificial foam, PVC, I guess. I'm going to stick it on the front, the front cabin, where it's a sleeping cabin against the wall. I had already painted the wall, so when you stick on it, it looks really nice, especially when you lean on it, it feels foamy. So that's my plan to finish that work today if I could. Okay, this is what I've done on the wall. You can feel like these are all the foam board I've done up here as well. Nice, clean on the right hand side, so that when you're lying down and occasionally you lean on it, it's so nice. Okay, good job.
Good job.
So we had our breakfast, we had our chat, and so with that,
good.
I think that concludes this week's episode.
Yes. So what would you say as a sign-off phrase?
Enjoy the best of your inner self before COVID circuit breakers open up and you start losing your mind.
And I would say get in tune with your core. What makes you happy?
The core.
Are you feeding yourself with happiness? And whatever you do, are you also giving others happiness?
Actually,
Talk to you next
the
time.
main thing is what are we going to eat next week? That's the main thing.